Hi, my name is Judy Auble. I'm with Toklat Originals, the worldwide distributor of Myler Bits. I'm here today to talk about Myler Bits for Valley Vet. Myler, for those of you who don't know, is actually a last name. It's not a material, it's somebody's name. It is Ron, Dale, and Bob Myler of Missouri. They've been hand making bits in Missouri for about 35 years now, and Toklat has taken on the licensing and manufacturing of Myler Bits for them for the US and worldwide. Let's talk a little bit about what makes Myler Bits different from other bits. So to do that, the first thing I have to show you is how a normal bit, traditional bit, works. This is a standard single joint mouthpiece. Ubiquitous in the equine industry. Probably most people have ridden in this mouthpiece at one time or another, whether it has a shank or a ring on it. So if you wouldn't mind coming forward. So imagine that this is your horse's head, and this is going to be his tongue. So when I put this bit on, the danger here is that I could actually raise a blood blister on her arm if I'm not careful. So if you try to do this demonstration with friends, be really careful if they're wearing a short sleeve shirt. When you put the bit on like this, and you pull back and simulate the action of the rein, you can feel the concentration of pressure. You can also feel a concentration of pressure here on your arm. Now when you use a Myler bit, this bit is called the 04 mouthpiece. Here's the same demonstration. And how does it feel?
Much better.
Yeah, softer.
Less pressure, doesn't poke
Yep.
me.
So the difference between these two bits, the single joint and the little Myler 04 mouthpiece, is that when you look at your normal single joint, if you pick a bit up in the middle and it breaks like this, that means that that broken mouthpiece, when you pull back on the reins, is going to collapse and it's going to rotate down onto your horse's tongue. So your degree of rein pressure from the saddle is like this. So the bit has to rotate down. It cannot rotate up, which is a common misconception that people think this mouthpiece can somehow hit the horse in the roof of the mouth. But it will actually rotate down and apply pressure on the tongue. That in and of itself is not bad. Tongue pressure is a really good signal for a horse to learn to give to the bit, because when you apply pressure to the horse's tongue, he can't move his tongue. And if he can't move his tongue, he can't actually go forward. People can test this. You can test this on yourself. You just take your finger, hold down your tongue, and try to run and see how far you can get before you feel your tongue pushing your finger up. Because in order for you to be able to run, you have to be able to move your tongue around. It's a really important muscle for locomotion. So with a Myler, the only difference between a Myler bit and a traditional bit is that the Mylers have designed their mouthpieces for different degrees of tongue pressure and tongue relief. So this 04 mouthpiece, which we just showed on the arm demonstration, if you pick it up in the center, it will still break. But you'll notice that it doesn't break nearly as much as this bit. This collapses into a V, and this collapses into a U. So two things happen. One, the barrel in the center of this bit will distribute the pressure more kindly than the joint in the center of this bit. So it feels softer, even though it's still applying some tongue pressure. But two, because it collapses into a U, it's actually going to wrap the tongue instead of applying pressure on either side of the mouthpiece the way the single joint does. So if you do the same simulation here, you can see that the pressure on each side is quite accentuated. So the only difference between a Myler bit and a traditional bit is that the Mylers understand the role of tongue pressure and tongue relief and how important it is to a horse's locomotion, and they've designed their mouthpieces for that purpose, to give either increasing tongue relief or to use tongue pressure where it's necessary.